Disneyland turned 64 years old yesterday, but Bob Iger accidentally tweeted that it was 54 years old.
That's a joke in itself.
In fairness, I'll probably be removing the Chapek years from my mind after they're over, too. So. Disneyland's 55.
Yes.
Tom, you're 10 years off. Abigail Disney, Roy O. Disney's granddaughter and Walt Disney's great-niece, recently expressed her anger with working conditions for Disneyland cast members following an undercover visit in an interview with Yahoo News. Yahoo's still a thing. That's news to me. Anyway, Abigail said she made the visit after she received a Facebook message from a cast member at the park. After speaking with cast members, she said she was so livid with what she heard. Quote, every single one of these people I talked to were saying, I don't know how I can maintain this face of joy and warmth when I have to go home and forage for food in other people's garbage. Meanwhile, my employees are complaining about how many cupcakes they have to eat. Yeah, I want you guys to think about that next time.
You should share with the cast members.
I would buy them cupcakes. They want to review cupcakes? I'll buy cast members
cupcakes.
There you go.
Look at that.
Quote, I was so livid when I came out of there because, my grandfather, Roy O. Disney, taught me to revere these people that take your tickets, that pour your soda, that scrape the bubble gum off the sidewalks every night. So you walk into that immaculate place. I don't know when the last time she went was. Those people are much of the recipe for success, and in a company that's never been more profitable, there is no excuse for an employee to be using food stamps, to be doubling up on housing, to be rationing their insulin. Abigail said she tried to contact the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger in an attempt to start a dialogue on the matter to no avail. Maybe she should get Twitter. She's expressed disappointment with Iger's lack of action. Quote, Bob needs to understand he's an employee just the same as the people scrubbing the gum off the sidewalk are employees. And they're entitled to all the same dignity and human rights that he is. Yeah. When Yahoo News reached out for a comment from the Walt Disney Company, a spokesperson changed the subject and discussed their education initiative, Disney Aspire. Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
But how did Disney eventually completely respond to this? By forcing one of their Media List approved fan sites to post a rebuttal from one of their spokespeople.
Wow.
This is a real thing. Mice Chat posted this. And how do we know this is like a thing they do? Because they tried to do it with us once. Yeah. Fun fact. Quote, we generally avoid commenting on such baseless reports like this, but this one is particularly egregious, and we won't let this stand. This is an official statement from the Walt Disney Company, but after the whole unscrupulous thing, I don't think anyone cares anymore. Obviously, it's just post whatever you want. You can be as mean as you want to whoever. I don't care if their last name's Disney. Doesn't matter. We strongly disagree with this characterization of our employees and their experience at Disney. This widely reported stunt is a gross and unfair exaggeration of the facts that is not only a misinterpretation, but also an insult to the thousands of employees who are part of the Disney community. We continually strive to enhance the employment experience of our more than 200,000 employees through a variety of benefits and programs. Notice we're not talking about salary here. That provide them the opportunity, mobility, and well-being. At our parks in Orlando and Anaheim, the Walt Disney Company currently pays its hourly workers an average of $19.50 an hour. Can we think about this for a second? An average of $19.50 an hour. If you're gonna fudge numbers, usually you can get to the point where you can break that 20. Like the numbers were so bad that Disney couldn't even push it that 50 cents into the 20s. Mind you, yeah. The best they could do was $19.50. That's what they could get away with. Quote, significantly above the federal minimum wage. Yeah, your average is. But, anyway. But we understand the challenges workers and families face in 2019 are complex and go beyond the paycheck. That's why we provide a wide range of benefits and initiatives to improve our employees' lives at and outside of work. From subsidized childcare to generous leave policies, from convenient access to pharmacies and clinics to free college degrees and vocational training programs for hourly employees. We recognize the economic challenges facing all... Yeah, here are the smiling cast member pictures that Mice Chat forced in, that I'm sure Disney provided. We recognize the economic challenges facing all working families, and we continually meet with our employees in the process of developing even stronger programs. Still, we're proud of the work we've done to improve. Look at this again, patting ourselves on the back just like Disney did in their little announcement after Star Wars Land opened without lines. And of more than 45,000 jobs we've added in the United States since 2005. The men and women who make the Disney parks such a special experience for millions of people are dedicated, hardworking, and proud. We agree with that, for sure. And we'll continue to listen to, empower, and reward them. Now, let's be honest for a minute here. We live in Orlando. And in Orlando, there's a couple of things that happen. Number one in Orlando is... And I live in an apartment complex fairly close to Walt Disney World. I will tell you, I know in apartments across the hall from me, there are 4 or more cast members in each of those apartments living in 2 bedrooms together. And I'm not saying they're couples. There's 4 to 6 cast members who aren't together in relationships living together in apartments all around me right now. I know for a fact those college program kids, there's a whole bunch of them in each of those apartments. We won't even talk about how the college program is sort of free slave labor for the Walt Disney Company. Won't get into that. But if you for a second believe that everybody working for the Walt Disney Company is living comfortably, that couldn't be further from the truth. So I don't know what Disney's saying, especially in Anaheim, where the cost of living is ridiculous. I've seen studio apartments that are 1 room in Anaheim, where cast members are living, that was like $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
That's a studio apartment. It's 1 singular room, $1,200, and people are scrounging to make that happen. So, yeah. Maybe the Walt Disney Company should worry more about fixing these problems than responding to people they should just leave alone, like Abigail Disney.
So, why did they reach out directly through a fan-owned site instead of the blog? The Parks blog.
Why did the Disney Parks blog feel the need to make 2 posts directly pointed at us?
Right.
There clearly is like a new direction.
Okay.
Clearly, like they had a little meeting and they were like, "All right, well, we're tired of getting pushed around and everyone's pushing." Instead of understanding that as the Walt Disney Company, there's a tone they have to take. There's an acceptable tone. You're a family-friendly organization.
Right.
There's a professionalism there. And instead now, because they're angry that they've sort of been pushed around by people, they're like lashing out at everybody. And that's what the PR department has decided they're going to do now.
Do you think they see this approach as less harsh than putting it out through a Disney-owned medium? Or
I don't know why they chose to do it that way. Maybe because they thought it was too harsh for their channel.
Yeah.
But they certainly didn't think the Tiki Room and Bears things were too ridiculous for their channel. So I couldn't tell you what goes on in their mind.
I wonder how many sites they reached out to ask if they could print.
Well, I will tell you, our personal experience was I think it's been well documented what happened when we went back on the media list, that we were told we would have access to certain events.
Right.
And we, ran stuff through them as they asked. I told them when we were going to run rumor stories and things like that. And then they decided just not to invite us to events they promised we would go to, which was their end of sort of the deal of us like warning them like, hey, we've got this information, we're going to run it, And so in the end, they didn't let us into those events, so I ran all those stories that they kind of wanted me to hold. And in the process after that, the Disneyland team did not have the problem with us that the Florida team had. The Florida team had decided they were no longer going to work with us. But the California, the people in the PR department based in California, the Disneyland Resort team, decided that we were a valuable asset and that they should work with us. And we were working together on some things. And there was obviously, I forget the story that sparked it, but there was a story about wages in Anaheim. And in response, they asked us to interview a cast member. Okay. And there was a lot of deliberation here. It's like, well,
a specific cast member?
It was
or
not a
your
spokesperson.
Choice?
No, they handed us.
They handed you a cast member. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, because I would have went and asked for, I would have went in the park and just like picked somebody out. I would have picked out the person that looked the most sad and been like, I want to talk to that guy. Let's find out what that guy thinks of his job here.
Yeah.
But no, they gave us a person who I think was not a front of the line, not a frontline cast member from what I remember. I'd have to reread the article. But there was a lot of deliberation here. Should we do it? And I think what we landed on at the time was it was fair, because I think all of the media was blah, 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 this, and this. And we kind of just wanted people to make up minds for themselves. And that's the way we worded the article. And certainly none of the wording in that was like, this claim is egregious. And it didn't even really, our little blurb at the top mentioned the story that was going around. The interview with the cast member, at no point does the cast member even talk about the story. There's no recognition from the company of that story. The company just wanted to put out an example of a cast member who had opportunities to move up and make money.
Right.
And so we ran that in an act of good faith in a lot of ways. And I didn't think it was anything particularly, like, it wasn't slanted or anything. I thought it was pretty fair. And then, needless to say, Florida got mad that California was giving us access and said, no, you have to do the same thing we're doing. And basically the California representative was just like, we want to work with you guys, but Florida's really just not letting us. Wow. And they were like, all right, fine. Yeah, and this is another one of those cases where how can we get reach? How can we get this story out there? And they decided to put it through Mice Chat, which hasn't been relevant in I don't know how long, but we won't get into that now. It's also the site that said It's a Small World was closing recently, I think. But yeah, I make up stuff.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's gross. I think as a Disney company, you turn the other cheek. I think that's your job. I think they should have just not even said anything about it. They should just let it go away.
It's obvious lashing out. I just find it fascinating to, the difference between the unscrupulous stuff, which was published to their own medium, which I guess makes sense because you wouldn't want necessarily to reach out to another fan-owned website. And they certainly
could have done it in a more respectful way, though. I think it was written in a very we don't like you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, as opposed to I think in the past, I remember every Tom, Dick, and Harry was posting that the name of Hollywood Studios was changing. And Disney, to their credit, I think, handled it in a very good way. They put out a post, which I think, for the most part, just talked about Toy Story Land opening soon.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, it said, oh, and by the way, despite rumors, we are going to keep the name of the park as it is, Disney's Hollywood Studios, as we feel like that encapsulates what this park is.
And that's fine.
And I thought, okay, so you told everybody the rumors are false. All right.
Yeah.
You didn't write, well, according to these idiots, unscrupulous sources said it's going to be Disney's Hyperia XL theme park. They've clearly taken a new direction. I'm sure there's some sort of new management in the PR department. I'm sure they all got yelled at, and now they were told, we're going to go a new direction, and things are going to be different now. We're going to take control of all this, and blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's any secret that right now Disney there are a couple of sites, ourselves included, that operate outside of their control. There are a couple of sites that are able to post honest reviews and say what we think, and we don't worry about it. We don't need a media credential to do what we do here. And our page views and success show that we don't. And I think they would like to get rid of the 3 or 4 of us that remain. And I think that's the current goal.
Yeah.
The current goal is to weed us out. Yeah. And they would like to control the media. I understand that. I think it's unfair. I think maybe they should just worry about doing a good job and spending money and doing the right things that they should do, like maintaining attractions and things like that. And then you wouldn't have to worry about me, because let's look at it this way. For many years, I don't think we were particularly negative. I think we were really positive. I think they were doing good stuff. And I think we wrote them glowing reviews. Cars Land and Pandora, and there were a lot of good restaurants that opened in that time. You're talking about Tiffin's and a bunch of good resort restaurants I can't even think of right now. Sanaa and all those. So we're talking about most of WDWNT's lifetime. There's a lot of very positive things that happened, and so we wrote them very positive reviews. And every once in a while there was a restaurant or something we didn't like, we're honest, but it was 9 out of 10 things where this was done well, and we liked this. And so it wasn't some conscious change here. Clearly things have gone awry in the company, and we've seen quality slip, and things are not good right now. And that's why we are where we are. And so despite what the Walt Disney Company wants to think, and that people are trying to drum up narratives that things are bad and blah, 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 there's no narrative. So anyway, that's where things are. Just wanted to rant as usual. Should we move on? We should move on to more positive.
Nothing gets my blood boiling like a Disney PR statement.
Yeah. It's just gross. She's a Disney family member. You quote Walt Disney every day on that goddamn blog. And Bob Chapek just went in Forbes and evoked the name of Walt Disney to make his point. And yet the minute someone with the last name Disney speaks out and says you're not living up to what our family wanted, you say that they're making an egregious misstatement. That goes against what you're saying. You can't evoke the name when you want it and then shun the Disney name when you don't. That's not how this works. Anyway, we'll move on. According to the Orlando Sentinel, appears an employee at Reedy Creek Improvement District's main office, which handles building codes, road construction, fire, rescue, and landscaping throughout Disney-owned land, mistakenly wired $722,000 to what they believed was a legitimate landscaping vendor. They should have noticed something was wrong when the name of the company was Backdoor Disney LLC.
He can't do that. He's in jail.
Oh, boy. Rough subject. The email hacking issues began back in February when they were supposedly directed by a vendor to make payments to a new Capital One account, which ended up being fraudulent. Turns out the employee who had been duped by 2 Louisiana men who were ultimately arrested and charged with wire fraud. Can we show the 2 suspects? We have a picture of the suspects, the 2 Louisiana men. There they are. Oh, God. Poor Reedy Creek.
Yes.
They just wanted to feed some alligators. That's all they wanted to do. These kinds of hacking issues like phishing, whaling, and bloggers obtaining secret plans plague officials' offices globally and can cause permanent financial loss. And while the Reedy Creek Improvement District was able to recover some of the money back from the fraudulent wire, according to the report, the government suffered a permanent loss of $93,658 or $93,533 more than a Disney after-hours ticket. Oh, poor guys. And they went back to feeding alligators. Disney has officially announced that on September 29th, the Skyliner will take flight and begin transporting guests around the Walt Disney World Resort.
Yay.
Of course, as we hashed out in an earlier assessment of the Skyliner openings, according to construction personnel working on the project, select Disney Skyliner lines may still open to guests in late August. So whom should you trust? Stay tuned to find out. See you on August 28th, everybody. We're wrong. The second floor, they'll just not open it to spite me now.
Yeah.
Construction guys definitely didn't know what they were talking about.
Well, no, they were fed that.
I'm sure they
knew
were.
You would ask.
Yeah, I'm sure the guys standing out in the heat were like, yeah, we're going to open today. The second floor signature restaurant, Citricos at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, will reportedly be converted into Victoria and Albert's Bistro as part of a continued reimagining of the hotel. Man, I can't wait for the elaborate backstory where Victoria and Albert bought the neighboring restaurant. Yeah, they had to save up for a long time. They don't make a lot of money at Victoria and Albert's. Scraps. They get just a little bit of money from every meal. The first of the major changes to the lobby is already underway. Of course, a conversion of Misner's and Commander Porter's into a Beauty and the Beast themed bar. That's not a joke.
So
It's
good.
a real thing that's happening. You may recall a story from a few years ago where he told you that Bob Chapek was not a fan of the Grand Floridian, and well, now he's been in charge for a few years, which is gross. It seems that they are finally getting. Don't care. Someone print that out for him. And it seems. Oh my. Keep digging that hole. And it seems that they are finally getting around to gutting that lobby in phases as he wanted it. While the next phase includes Citricos for sure, we also know that the concierge level lounge in the lobby building will be getting an overhaul imminently. The space at today is Citricos was once Flagler's Restaurant, which opened on June 28, 1988, before both I and the boy were born.
Yep, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Me too. I was not born by then either.
It featured Italian and continental cuisines, like Tony's. It closed on July 6, 1997, also before the boy was born, to become Citricos on November 8th, which was after the boy was born. While the timeline remains unclear for when Citricos will close for these changes, it should be after the bar project is complete, but before Primeval World reopens. Yeah, thanks. No one got it. We assume we don't know when it's coming back. We assume it'll entail a remodeling of the dining space and an overhaul of the menu at the very least. So, what exactly is happening in total to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa? Well, based on the concept art that we've seen for the bar, and what we now know will make up the rest of the project, I assume that Mr. Chapek's dreams will come true, and not the ones about him becoming human. Those will never be true, but because he is in fact a robot. I assume that elements in development for the Fantasy Springs Hotel in Tokyo and the upcoming reimagining of the similar Disneyland Hotel in Paris are being shared between all three for a new deluxe resort with Disney Princess Elements motif. Good times. Yep, let's just have a bunch of the same hotels across the world. It'd be great. Disney has announced several returning favorites and some all-new experiences for their annual Magic Kingdom Halloween parties, highlighted by the debut of the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular Fireworks Show. Jack Skellington from Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas serves as the host for this all-new extravaganza. And Jack has come to tell a not-so-scary story about how anything can happen on Halloween night, August 16th.
I don't know what the joke is.
It's the first party.
Is it? No.
Yeah. It's the same date as last year, I think. Nick has no idea.
Nick's
How do you work here?
There's no way it's August. It's August?
It's August.
It's been August for like several years now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because money.
I think I knew that, but that's just crazy.
I think I knew that, sure. Jack's ghost dog, Zero, then flies off carrying everyone along on a trick-or-treating adventure where four friends, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Goofy, find themselves drawn into a mysterious haunted house. Their journey takes them from one room of the house to another, encountering dancing skeletons, waltzing ghosts, and a Toy Story audio animatronic marionette show.
That's pretty scary.
Oh, no! He's gonna do it! Where will it go now? Disney's not so... He needs the animatronics, though. Yeah. Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular promised to be the perfect Halloween treat. Meanwhile, several attractions across the park will receive special enhancements just for the Halloween party. New this year, when you follow the treat trail into the monster world at the Laugh Floor, they'll interact in all new ways with a comic cast of monsters as they learn about the curious human world holiday we call Halloween. They'll also be learning about your personal preferences through data mining.
Great.
Yeah. Sadly, overlays for Big Thunder and the People Mover didn't make the cut. These were on the schedule. They didn't happen. Yeah, they got canceled, so you can say it with me. Because money. Surprise. Don't worry, everybody, though. While you may not have that Halloween People Mover overlay, we have one here at WDWNT for you. Can we show people our People Mover overlay?
I'm excited.
Here we go.
There we go.
Oh.
There it is! It's the Person Mover! Tom Corliss wants to ride alone. And of course, I don't ride any rides with other people. So it's the Person Mover. Presented by WDWNT.com at Unscrupuland.
Oh my gosh.
The best part, this is a shirt. You can buy this as a shirt now on TeePublic. Jason will tell you how. Jason, do we know how? Do we have a link or anything? Maybe not. Probably not.
Not quite yet.
All right, soon.
TeePublic.
It's going to be available.
No, not TeePublic.
It's TeePublic.
TeePublic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we're doing different stuff with Lost Bros. We do have stuff coming up with Lost Bros, but some of our parody things where we create the art, we're going to release on TeePublic. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Of course, don't worry, everybody. Your favorite overlay, Man on a Bridge in the Dark, will return this year as well at Pirates of the Caribbean. So enjoy that. Man on a Bridge in the Dark yelling at you. Back for a second.
Actually, the shirt's for sale. We got it up.
Well, we got it.
Just go to WWNT.com and click on the TeePublic banner on the left side, and it'll be right there. The People Mover shirt. Person Mover shirt.
Person Mover.
Pleasure
Just
Island tonight. That's
Person
He's
Mover.
been at Pleasure Island for months.
pretty cool.
He really liked that event we had.
So did I.
It's my favorite.
Yes, but we're, of course, evil and don't do good things. We are mean.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, we're having an Illuminations event, but it's going to be a surprise. Like, we're just going to tell them we hate the show. Tell the creators to their face we don't like Illumination. That's how mean we are. The Astro Orbiter is now down for unplanned maintenance of the Magic Kingdom. If only the park had something similar to fill the void while it's gone. Should have built an Arabian Orbiter or something. You know, it's so unfair because that lead-in joke was good and you all didn't get it. There's literally 3 other spinners in that park. If you guys went to the park, you'd know.
What park are we talking about?
No, they're not the same.
Unscrupulous.
None of them are on top of the
Okay.
people mover.
I'm not sure where
None
the
of them are on
Astro
top of the person mover.
That's fair.
They're different.
I can't wave up to any of them. So yeah, now both the Astro Orbiter and Primeval Whirl are down for unknown reasons. I tell you why, but the Parks Blog would just tell you I'm lying. So
Ah!
a little rocket told us. Club Cool has run out of Beverly just weeks before the current location closes. Don't worry, cast members probably have some disinfectant you can drink if you're that upset. Tastes about the same. You know, personally, I think Beverly tastes how Epcot feels now. Kind of bland, but it leaves a bad taste in your mouth because you know the company that made it could do better if they stuck with the good recipes. Yep. No! That was a good one. I don't stand by that decision. Anyway, that camera's looking for something
It was
on
alright.
the table. What'd you
Our
drop?
camera has decided to stop working.
Which camera stopped working?
Naked
Oh,
eyes.
I'm frozen.
Oh, the one with the 2 of you?
Yeah.
Switch to it. Oh, it's working fine. There you go.
Oh, I'll look into that shortly.
Okay.
I don't know why you looked under the table.
I think I was sleeping.
What?
It might have been.
Were you sleeping?
It looks like I'm sleeping. Fell asleep.
No, I was reading the script, but it looks
And
like
Nick's
I'm
like,
sleeping.
are you sleeping? Why is the table blue?
I think it was part of the camera.
Oh, but
Yeah.
it cuts off perfectly at the table? Look
Yeah,
at-
I guess
It
so.
looks like it's a blue tablecloth.
It's a striped tablecloth they got going. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man.
Disney's Hollywood Studios will be keeping most of its Star Wars offerings, including Launch Bay, Galaxy Far, Far Away, Galactic Spectacular, and even Jedi Trading Academy, after Galaxy's Edge opens. Yeah, it's a good thing we ended Star Wars weekends because the new 14-acre land would be enough Star Wars for us. Thanks, Disney. Also, a Darth Vader meet and greet is returning to Launch Bay, but don't worry, you guys. Basing a land on the current trilogy was definitely the right decision. You've made the right choice. Yeah, I'm not hitting the panic button or anything. Yesterday marked the last ever Mickey's Sensational Parade at Disneyland. But don't worry, they'll still get Rapunzel to come down from her tower every day with those 99-cent refills. Yeah. I'm joking, of course. She has the deluxe annual pass, so she can't come down.
Jeez.
She can only come down into Disney California Adventure. Yeah. Disneyland annual pass holders can now purchase a refillable mug to quench their thirst at the parks. The mug costs $14.99 plus tax. It offers refills on soda, coffee, tea, and hot chocolate at only 99 cents. Yeah, through September 5th. Yeah, Trader Sam is also having a special. 2 of his drinks for the price of 1. What's happening over there?
I don't know.
Is that the doorbell? You should answer it.
It's Disney.
Anyway.
There.
We don't like what you're doing. Please stop. Oh, man. Oh, Victoria and Albert told us. A little Victoria and Albert told us.
That'd be great. Victoria and Albert show up.
They're like leprechauns, they're tiny.
Love to meet them.
Hey, you be messing with our restaurant, you be.
We should have an event with all the restaurant owners. Victoria, Albert, Tony, everybody.
Who is the one in California?
Oh, goodness.
At Wine Country? Trattoria?
Trattoria. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Oh,
That's a
you made
shame.
up a fake guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You thought there was a painting of him on the wall.
Oh yeah, but it was great.
just great.
I had a little too much wine that night.
God. Anyway. A bottle refill station has debuted in Tomorrowland at Disneyland, so get ready to drink some water fresh from the submarine lagoon. Yeah, it tastes like mermaid because it is. That was probably the worst joke. That one's... See,
I like that one.
Anyway.
You didn't laugh.
Who could tell? The camera's frozen. No idea.
I need to.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Laughing isn't.
Let's see if he laughed. Go back
measure
to
of
the
funny.
camera.
it's gone now.
No, it's gone now.
It's
Fine.
black now.
Anyway,
Everything's fine.
the worst Splash Mountain ride in the world celebrated its 30th birthday yesterday with a wooden bottle, a T-shirt, and a fishing hat.
Nah.
All this is perfect for those trekking across the country to ride a good splash mountain. Sucks.
Yeah, that's not good.
Disney has released a series of pens featuring characters eating.
Yes.
Yeah, even none of them are eating at Tony's, though. Even a cartoon character can't survive that. It's like the dip. Tony's red sauce is also the dip. One part turpentine. One part benzene. All right. The Dapper Dan's barber shop in Paris is being moved off of Main Street and into the Liberty Arcade to make more space for the already massive Emporium. The barbershop will strangely be built in the often unused Statue of Liberty diorama viewing area. So the diorama will be the back wall of the barbershop. Weird. Meanwhile, the Harmony Barbershop will close at the Magic Kingdom and be moved into the Stitch's Great Escape viewing area.
That's a funny one.
Thanks. Well, can I do it with the original intended joke? I'm going to do the original one. Meanwhile, the Harmony Barbershop at the Magic Kingdom will be moving into the often unused Rivers of Light viewing area.
Not as good, but
Please
still
tell
pretty
me in
funny.
the chat which one was funnier, because there was a big argument.
Stitch.